Hi, we are Ben and MP, and after rebuilding our sinking wooden boat completely, last week we got to paint our hull with its final color, which was a major milestone. To celebrate that, today we decided to take a rest from the big important jobs and focus more on the fun ones, building creative furniture.
So the boat is kind of ready inside and we're just trying to add these fun things to add a little bit of us to the interior. I'm sure MP's made that very clear.
You might be wondering why needs such a big door if the furniture is almost all ready. Well, it's the front door of Yabá. We already have one, but we want to make another one for extra safety. You're gonna understand in a bit.
There is the raid table over there, and there is the big rustic table there, which we've moved around because we're fixing all this. So I think Nico's going to finish all this bit back here, make it look nice, while I work on the table itself, varnish it, and then we can put it in place. Because one thing I hate the most on the boat is when we have something ready like that, but not in place. Let's just get it ready, get it in place for us and for you guys. It's way more satisfying. So Nico's going to tackle this right now. See, we've started filling it and sanding it. Well, sanding it, taking the varnish off. He's going to make that ready so we can put it in place. This isn't going to work. I guess I'm just going to have to get the grinder and then vacuum it all up. A lot is going on up on the boat. Adilson's working on a super cool project, which I'm going to let him do all the cutting and planing and sanding. And when it gets closer to looking like something, I'll head over there. Well, I can actually show you now, but I don't know if you'll be able to see what we're going for with this. I'll show you what's happening right now. Flip this around. This bit over here is the bit against the wall, and it's going to be in a cupboard, and I don't think it's worth sanding. This is actually epoxy. It's not worth sanding to make all the mess. So we're going to leave that. We have sanded all the rest, and it's just going to be varnished. The only bit that's going to be epoxy right now is the sapwood, the bark, the outer bit of the tree, because we know that's the very fragile bit, and I think a layer of pure resin epoxy resin, is just going to make it a bit stiffer for bashes and stuff like that. And when that's cured, we can sand it a bit and then varnish it. That's that done. That was quite satisfying to see, and also that some of these sapwood pieces are like dry already because I think it just sucks up so much epoxy resin. It looks a bit messy, but that was all going to be sanded anyway. However, I have decided that I want this epoxied and then varnished, not just varnished. I think the epoxy resin will give it just a little bit more strength to it for bashes and whatever, and the varnish will just be the UV protection. So it might take one or a little bit longer, like a day longer, because you have to let the epoxy cure before varnishing, but I think it's the right thing to do. This is the bottom part that I said I'll do first, because later we'll flip it and leave the best finishing touches possible for the top part. So hopefully this tomorrow will catalyze, sand it down, maybe put some PU on it already, and then work on the top part. I don't know if I'll work on the top part here or in place, but anyway, it's always so satisfying to see wood being epoxied or varnished. Let me show you what else is going on in the boat over here. Nico's here applying a synthetic paint because we want this side to breathe, because the other side's going to be like sealed to the underneath bit. The top bit's just been varnished. The bottom's going to be painted over here because that is where the table is going to go. Inside, Orlando and MP are working on the lighting. Look at that. These are the lights we brought back from Annapolis. They're quite high. Yes, they have buttons on. So there's, what's this? Strong, off, no, weak, off, strong. But that we're not supposed to, it's not made to be turned on and off there. There's a little switch down here. And also that one over there by the galley. Let's see. See it? But only I can choose if it's off up here, strong or weak, because I'm the only one who's tall enough. And Jilson's over here putting more of these little what do you call them, thingy-bobbies on the roof, and we're waiting for some other projects to dry and seal and paint, but we want to get all these tables in place already, so that's why this is being prepped and that table there is being prepped. before we move over to the next subject, all of you who have adopted a frame or futtock, we have not forgotten about you. All we think about is getting all your names on your frame or futtock and just having you on board, and also sending you our gratitude email with a picture of your tag. We just got caught up in so many things that we haven't gotten to it, because we did start it at some point, putting all your tags on, and then we started putting some buttons on the frames and we had to remove the tags. So we're just waiting a little bit longer until we're sure that we can place your tag without having to remove it again. But we cannot wait to do so, and thanks again so much. Without you, the shape of this boat would not have been possible. That big sun wall or door, whatever you want to call it, is now kind of ready. It's all sanded, fed, it's ready to be put in place to actually see if it fits. And then once that's good, we can varnish it and kind of already put it in place. We still want to make the slidey door that will go behind it. However, that has to come up first. The wall is coming. This table has got a bunch of varnish on top of the first layer of epoxy that I'd already placed. I'm gonna let this set, cure, dry, whatever, then we can flip it around. Maybe even today, depends, and then work on the top so we can finally put that in place. But before we put it in place, MP's over here making the wall look very pretty.
Yeah.
Even though it's going to be hidden.
We're super excited to have this area ready, but of course, this thing that's going to be hidden and everything needs to be done first. And you look here. This sun. I've been talking about this wooden sun since day one we bought the boat. I wanted to have a wooden sun somewhere on the boat, anywhere. And when we were doing the interior design, I was like, maybe this furniture, this wardrobe can be a sun. No. Or maybe this can be a sun. Better no. And then when we were talking about this wall, I was like, okay, now it's my turn to shine. And we have the sun. I am so excited. I think it's looking even better than my dreams, and I cannot wait to see it in place. You see this line here, there's a different color. It's because even before we bought Yabá, there was an air conditioning system, a house unit, right here. So yeah, we never got to see it in person, and now we're just trying to hide the scars from it.
You guys might have also noticed that we are very bad at sticking to one job and finishing it. That is because we are working with a very small team and we want to get the most out of each hour of the day, whether it be sunny or raining. If we're working inside on something while it's raining, but the sun comes out and dries out, we don't want to be wasting the sunny days working inside, so we stop that and work outside. We do our best to stick all the jobs, stick to one job in one episode for you guys. However, that is still very, very difficult because some jobs don't get finished in a while and we have to jump back to them. And I'll tell you something, I have tried epoxying in the rain and I have tried applying some varnish on a humid day. I'm not doing that again. never know. Is it me, or did I just have the perfect amount?
How did you calculate it?
I'm guessing. This epoxy resin has been curing all weekend. It's nice and solid. I can see some areas where it's a lot more resiny and a lot of areas where it's a lot thinner, where the wood has sucked in the resin. Also, the sapwood over here really sucked in the resin. I would like to put another second layer on, just to make sure, so it's all shiny and none of it's kind of gritty before I put the PU varnish on. However, today and tomorrow it is raining, so it's very humid, so I am going to wait to put more resin on. You want to go outside, yeah? He wants to go outside. And then we can varnish it. So we're going to move over to some other stuff that we can do today, which is that sun wall. We're going to try and prep it already, sand it, fill all the little holes, like make it look nice before we also varnish it. Then we can put it in place. This is only the back of it. When the back's done, we can flip it and work on the bit that we want looking the nicest. So this can be rested on top of. Nico's taking care of this while I'm inside. Another sand, another layer of paint over there, and then we'll flip it. There are a few level differences in here still, so we're going to use the same technique used on the roof of the superstructure to take at least most of them off, because with a palm sander it's so small that you're not going to take away the hole. So that's what we're going to give a go right now.
We are very excited to have this area here finished. We're getting a bit carried away, wanted to install the table first, but then remember that here we want to add this metal gate for extra safety. That will come here, and then, well, now we're really with our minds in the right order, so that's why we prepared this wall already. We varnished it just today. Then we're gonna be working on the metal gate soon. We are drawing and sketching how we want it to be, and then hiding the gate, we're gonna have this beautiful sun that I wanted for so long, and Ben finally agreed on a place that we could have it, and I'm super excited about it. I seriously cannot wait to have it here in place and varnish with the table. I think it's gonna be fun.
You might know we are doing our best to make the boat look nice and functional. However, that is not where it stops. It isn't just little side battens or the paint we choose or the wood we choose. It is really the little details that we're trying to put in here, like the manta ray dining table, the wall, the double sun wall. We're trying to make the spindles. We've got so many more ideas. We've also got these thrifted lights from Beacon Sales. I don't know, it means so much to us to have these little things. And I think the ideal boat for us is the boat that we love the most and feel the most home in. And that, I believe, we're doing a very good job in. Guess what? During this episode, we tried to put away all the stuff that was in the way on the boat, like the ray table and the big table that was varnished and epoxied. However, guess what happens? We put something in place and another big object just gets in the way. Hopefully this is one of the last big things that is going to get in the way. We are going to just wait for the metal gate to be installed so that we know where to place this, how much space we need to leave, and where we need to cut the big varnished slab of wooden table. Very excited to put this in place now. It's got the back facing us so we don't damage the sun, and I can't wait for the next day to see it. And here from one of the most organized rooms in the boat, the bow cabin. Thank you so much, Yours, for joining us on Patreon. Welcome to the crew, and also thank you, Brenda, for supporting us through PayPal. And thank you so much, Jens, Douglas, Dwayne, Ludwig, Gerben, and Joseph for smashing that super like button on YouTube. Thanks so much for the support, and see you all next week. What's this? What's this? Ooh, someone went for a swim. What's this?